You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome to Inspiring Leaders. I'm Donna Chandler Newman, your host, and thank you for watching our program. Through this show, we meet community leaders and we examine how they're using their unique talents and skill sets to make a difference. And through our discussions, we hope to inspire others to discover and to share their own leadership abilities for the overall betterment of our community. Now, today on our show, we'll focus on the Knights of Columbus, a fraternal organization you've probably heard of over the years, but you may or may not know of all the exceptional work they do within our community, and actually throughout the world. In this first portion of our show, we'll meet Jim Clark, treasurer, and Tom Wilson, past Grand Knight of our local council, and they will talk with us about who the Knights are and what they do. And in our second segment, Jim and I will be joined by Ed Cabrera, Deputy Grand Knight, and we'll talk about their annual gala and the future of the Knights. Joining us now, Jim Clark and Tom Wilson of the Knights of Columbus. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you. Welcome.
I'm so glad that you guys are with us today, and I appreciate you making time for us.
Much appreciated. Y'all
are kind of busy guys. I know that you're both retired, but you both still do work in the community as well as work in the world.
Yes, we do.
Jim, tell me about your business background and how you became involved with the Knights. And
I've been a financial executive, either operational controller, VP finance, CFO for manufacturing companies, large businesses generally. Came here to Memphis to work at Thomas & Betts, turned it around, retired in 2009, and then since that time have had calls to help people as a CFO in different venues, either acquisitions or interim CFO work. And along the way, I mean, in the prior cities I was in, I was always involved in some charity, either on the board or an active member of, generally, well, mostly with inner city, helping inner city youth who are disadvantaged. And it always gave me a warm spot in my heart. And I came here, I got too busy to do much. And then at the end I said, I had to get involved in something. And then I got asked. So I looked at the Knights and said, yes. So that's how I got here.
So a lot of times it's just somebody was good enough to ask.
They were good enough to ask.
That's perfect. It really is.
Right,
and you enjoy your work there.
Very much.
So in a nutshell, what is the mission of the Knights?
The mission, the initial mission of the Knights is charity, is to provide charitable contributions to specific charities and also to help people in need. And there's a long list of those things that we do. But also the other ones are unity, fraternity, and patriotism.
And we'll go into depth in those a little bit, but all of those are goals of the Knights, right?
Correct.
Okay.
They help define us as an organization.
Yes, they do. They do. They do. Now, Tom, you are the past Grand Knight, right?
Yes.
Tell me what a Grand Knight is. Tell me how long you've been involved with the Knights and the rich business background you bring.
My earliest involvement began when I was in college.
Really?
In 1969. I first joined the Knights of Columbus. And then I kind of fell away for a number of years and became reactivated here in Germantown about 26 or 27 years ago. And one of the things that interests me very much is I served on a committee, and we were supporting a program in Fayette County to take care of the people out there. And we tried to raise a little money to help the person running the program run the program. And we discussed, what can we do to help a little more? And I said, well, we know that the people who are living in these homes are living in some pretty poor conditions. It has to be really tough for them to survive the winters. Why don't we do a winterization project and go out and fix broken windows and put plastic over those windows, storm windows, etc. And it was an idea that was taken, and we ran with it for a number of years.
That's wonderful. And that the project you're talking about that's out in Fayette County is, of course, Project Outreach.
Correct.
They've been on our show before. They do excellent work, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So you guys work alongside of them in many ways.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
That's perfect. So tell me, though, how the Knights came into being is a really interesting story. Tell me how that came about.
Well, the Knights were founded in 1882, Father Michael J. McGivney, noticed that a problem in where he lived in Connecticut was that the people were dying, especially young men who were trying to support their families. And they were dying from various conditions based on the work they did, including a condition very similar to black lung that textile workers get because of textile fibers. And they're leaving families behind with no support. And he said, we can't allow that to happen. We have to find a way to support those families and help them. And that was the beginning of Knights of Columbus.
Okay, so there's an insurance company involved some kind of way.
Right.
Tell me how that happened and what that is.
Well, it was to further the idea of helping. You can buy life insurance. The Knights of Columbus Life Insurance is one of the top-rated companies in the country for that. They have life, they have long-term care, and other insurances available primarily to Knights and their families to provide some additional support.
And you had some numbers with that, didn't you, Jim, the numbers man?
Yes. So you start off with these few good men getting together and helping families in need, and you fast forward to today, all right? We're in 18 countries around the world. We have 1.9 million members.
Wow.
We have donated in the past 10 years 1.62 with $1 billion to charities.
Oh my gracious.
So when you think about that, that's 160 some million dollars averaging a year of contributions. And it's coming from all of the councils that are around. We're a council, not a chapter, whatever you want to call us. But it's also from the fact that this is a not-for-profit insurance organization. And they can use the money that they make, that are excess, and provide for charities.
Oh, so they also take care of it.
Right. So the large part of the monies are coming from our national organization.
Is that correct, Don?
Yeah, exactly, especially because they don't have to pay dividends directly to shareholders.
Oh.
They
Gotcha.
help support the charitable giving of the Knights.
That's an interesting sort of twist. So basically, this entire organization started as a small parish priest, right? And in Connecticut, is that correct?
Yes, New Haven.
In New Haven, Connecticut,
Yeah.
and so now it's spread throughout the country, of course, and throughout
So it's the
world.
largest, it's one of the largest charitable organizations in the world, and it's also, as Tom mentioned, one of the largest and most reputable insurance companies in the United States.
Well, that's amazing.
AM Best, very high ratings.
Very, very high rating.
Oh
Very
my
highly rated.
gracious. Okay, so take it back local. How many people do you have in men, and we should say that, how many men are involved in the local chapter?
I believe we have about 227 members,
Yeah.
Really?
who are active members,
Yeah.
who are doing a variety of activities. It gives an opportunity for someone who's interested in providing some support to their community, a variety of avenues to do that through.
Okay, before we go into that, this whole thing is hierarchical, if you will, right? It's kind of like the military. The Catholic Church is that way, and the Knights of Columbus are that way as well. So I guess you have this council at OLPH.
Right.
Are there other councils?
Yes, there are in other parishes, and so all of these, we're all associated with the parish, but we're not under the parish regulation. We actually get to use the facility, and we draw from the men of the parish. But there are other councils that are, you know, in St.
Local area.
Francis, Incarnation, Holy Spirit, and you can go on and on and on.
And then it becomes an assembly, is that right?
Well, actually, you have a fourth degree assembly, which are the ones you're used to seeing with the more pomp and circumstance,
Okay.
mainly for color guards and honor guards. But a lot of the real work is done by the councils because they're understanding what are the local needs and what can we do in the community to support the community and make it better.
And talk about some of those projects now. Tell me about those projects.
So over the last 5 years, the Germantown, our council, our Germantown 7449 council, has raised $300,000 for
Wow.
charities. And we support a long list, including Coats for Kids, the Downtown Food Pantry, Project Outreach, which you've already mentioned, which is Fayette County, MR Foundation, Special Olympics. We send our youth on activities with Habitat for Humanity. And there's a long list, right, Tom?
We support St. Vincent de Paul, for example. that helps people who are down on their luck and having a tough time paying their obligations.
And it's non-denominational. I mean, we support whoever shows up. You know, it's just, there's no real need. It's whoever needs the help is going to get it.
You don't have to show your religion card.
No,
right.
you don't. There's no religion card involved here at all. That's one of the things we want to keep, is that we're agnostic with regard to religion.
Sure,
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Because it's somebody in need.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to take care of them.
That's right.
And that was commanded by the Bible, correct?
That's right. It's like,
That's,
love your neighbor as you love yourself.
That's really, that's a wonderful set of things that you do.
One of the things I'd say about giving that is lost on people, I mean, it's more blessed to give than receive is always, and that's a statement that everybody knows, right, Tom?
Yeah.
But, you know, in giving, we respond to a cry for help.
Yes.
And our temporal gift, our gift satisfies a temporal need. But it also strengthens that person's faith and hope in the future. Because without faith and hope, the future is dark. And with faith and hope, anything is possible.
That is so true.
It's really, that's what we get, we have to keep that in mind when you decide to help out with anybody doing anything. I don't care if you're helping somebody who's homeless on the side of a street or whatever. Every time you do a little act of charity, you're providing faith and hope.
So the benefits are faith and hope for the recipients.
And help.
And help. And the help, of course. For the community and for you, what are the benefits?
Well, you know, again, a lot of it depends on how we were each raised, but I think many of us were raised with the concept that we are our brother's keeper.
Yeah.
And we have a responsibility to look out for others. And I've always said, God gives you a lot of talents and gifts, and along with the gift comes the obligation to share it.
That's really true, isn't it? You know, you have a lot of places to choose to put your time and talent and treasure. Why the Knights?
Well, it's a good team of people, and you build strong relationships.
And you too, Jim?
Yes, I'd say that, you know, the second piece is unity, which means, you know, to me it goes back to a statement one of my former CEOs said to me, that teams will always outperform individuals. And so unity means, as Tom mentioned, that we work together. And fraternity, which is the third one, is that we have this, basically, the more you socialize with people and with a common goal, the stronger you feel. And it's kind of like, for me, it's like I played sports all the way through college. And it's like being on a good sports team.
So charity,
unity, fraternity, and then patriotism.
Patriotism. Good. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much. I appreciate you being here so much today with us, Tom. Jim, will you stay for a few minutes with us?
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. You're doing great work, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our community appreciates it.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to pause now for a short break, and when we return, Jim and I will be joined by Ed Cabrera, Deputy Grand Knight, to continue our discussion on the Knights of Columbus. Out.
We see the potential in every single student.
That sounds like a confession to me.
I love watching these kids as they start as freshmen in high school and watching them mature and grow.
At last, my right home is complete again!
The theater program at GHS, it's something special.
Is very intensive, it's very interactive.
When a student starts here their freshman year, they start with Introduction to Theater. And after that year, they have a choice to either go into acting or technical theater. And then after that, they join our production workshop class. It's the class that is completely run by students.
The students do mostly everything. We build the sets, we do lighting, we make the costumes, we do the shows.
It's very fun. I mean, everybody's very supportive of each other.
Now we're all in this together.
It's taught me so much about how to act and how to have a stage presence.
Not only are we teaching the students the skills that they need to be a great performer or a great stage manager or a wonderful lighting designer, we're teaching them skills that they're going to be able to apply to whatever they do in their life.
You guys are fabulous!
This department not only makes wonderful theater, but more importantly, this department makes wonderful people.
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775. You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Donna Chandler Newman, and you're watching Inspiring Leaders. We're pleased to continue talking now with Treasurer Jim Clark and Deputy Grand Knight Ed Cabrera as we continue learning about the revered organization, the Knights of Columbus. Thanks for staying so much, Jim. And Ed, thank you so much for coming today.
My pleasure.
Now, I know you had to sneak away from your job. You're tell me what you do.
I work at FedEx, and I'm in the marketing organization in product development marketing. My office is over on Forest Hill Irene Road, and we have a group of about 30 people in my organization that concentrates on developing new products and services for FedEx. We're always looking to provide better service for our customers, and that's what we're all about.
Well, and a big shout out to FedEx for the great work they do in our community. I'll tell you that our community really appreciates FedEx being here so much, and thank you so much. In fact, you moved here for your job. You moved here from Miami, you said, right?
I did, yeah. We've been in this Germantown area for 12 years. We moved here for expanding an international organization within FedEx, and I was part of setting that up and establishing it. And since then, we've evolved and moved into new areas of marketing. But we've just enjoyed living in this area and found life here in Germantown to be fantastic.
Oh, I'm really glad. I am. This entire community is a wonderful place to be. Memphis is a good giving community and very different than living in Miami, though I hear you're a great Cuban cook.
Yes, I'm half Cuban, and that's one thing that I am passionate about, among other things, is Cuban food. And one of the things that we get involved with, that I lead with the Knights of Columbus, is a social that we do, which is a Cuban night dinner, Habana night, and I'm the head chef, and me along with my good buddies of the Knights of Columbus, we put on a spread of Cuban food, and we have dancing and Latin music, and we make mojitos, and it's just a great time. And what Jim was talking about fraternity, that's part of what we do also, because we work hard, we're in the community, we're doing service, but we also like to celebrate. And this is an opportunity for us to get together and bond together, meet the family, bring the families together. It's a family event, and we invite the whole parish to be part of it too. And we had, last year we had 150 people that came up for 170 for the Havana night, and we cooked a lot of roast pig that night and a lot of mojo. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay, so next.
The only problem with that is that Ed won't share the recipes.
I was going to say next year.
Old recipes.
Next year we'll join you. How's that?
Absolutely.
Bring Rusty.
I'll bring my husband Rusty. I will. Well, listen. You know, when I listened to you talk about the Knights of Columbus, you've described it to me, and it's a fraternal organization within parishes in the Catholic religion. And I guess my question to you, with it being fraternal, is where are the women?
Well, there are councils in the United States and other countries that have women's auxiliaries, and they're active. We chose not to have that in our organization because the Women's Guild, which has been active, and they're actually made up of wives of Grand Knights, of Knights mainly, and they work hand in glove with us on a lot of things. So for us to try and establish a women's auxiliary would probably be counterproductive, Ed. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Still not members, but I'm sure you guys will have to explore that at some point, but not today.
And that's not to say that our wives and families are not involved with the Knights, because that's our goal, is being a leader as men is also being a leader in your family. And we encourage family participation, and all the events that we do, for the most part, they're open for the families, youth in the parish, as well as families. My wife is very involved in Cuban Night, and so is my daughter and her friends. So it becomes an extension, really.
And bonds your families closer together.
Yes, absolutely.
Within themselves and with each other.
Correct.
So you're making a large community here. Okay, so when we went through a list of your services a little bit ago, and what all you provide within the community, that takes money. How do you raise your money?
We beg. No, the main, we have a couple. The Germantown Festival helps out. We're there. We have a sausage shack there. But the main bill is the annual gala, right, Ed? That's where we raise all the money, and it's we have a live auction, a silent auction, And in those cases, you know, we're raising money either specifically for a charity like Coats for Kids, or, you know, MR Foundation or Special Olympics, and then generally we may auction off a beach house or something like that. Then we have silent auction items. So the proceeds from that are used to fund our activities. And again, it's an all-volunteer organization. Nobody's paid a salary, so other than the cost of putting these things on and getting things ready to share, I mean, all this money raised goes directly to those in need.
You know, that is a fascinating thing, and that's not common in our area. There are a number of nonprofits in our area, some 3,500.
Right.
Very few of them are run completely by volunteers. So
Yeah,
this
is total volunteers.
Yeah, so it really is. So how do you do that? How do you get people involved and want to volunteer?
Well, we offer a good product, as Ed would say. It's product development. People that come to our events, like Ed's Social, as he mentioned, you know, they say, well, we want to do something, and then, but also you mentioned, you know, the activities. When we get somebody to step up and do an activity with us, Ed, wouldn't you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's about, you know, as men, we have a desire to give and be part of the community and to provide service. And really what our goals are is to give the opportunity for the people and men in our parish to be involved. A lot of them don't have the time to organize charities in themselves. They do participate a lot in charities, but this provides, as Jim was talking about, a fraternal aspect for them to do charitable work, get involved with the community, but also build relationships as well at the same time. So for me, that's what drew me to the Knights of Columbus. When I came here 12 years ago, my old parish, we didn't have a Knights organization. And I really didn't understand what the Knights did. But once I got to the parish and I saw how the Knights are involved in everything in our church. They're just this humble, or you don't know who these men are. They just show up, they run the pancake breakfasts, they're there to help the priest with whatever they need. You know, someone in need, they're always there. And when I saw this action, it drew me in. So I think for me as a Deputy Grand Knight is really just to make sure that we're inviting men to come in, to make everyone welcome, and to demonstrate that we have these opportunities for them and to make it easy for them to be involved.
You are quite passionate about the Knights, and I know many of the Knights, of course. There are some younger ones involved now, but like any other nonprofit organization, volunteers seem to be getting smaller. The pool of volunteers seems to be getting smaller. What are you all doing to address that and to get people to want to be members who are from the generation XYZ, millennials, whoever they are? How do you entice them to get involved?
Oh, absolutely. I just touched on it a little bit. I think we're a humble organization and we need to be more active in how we just communicate what we do, because the young men in our parish, they're involved with their schools, you know, they're involved with their kids, they have a lot of things going on. It's important that they just understand what we do, the awareness is there, and that we're inviting to them to bring them in and give them the opportunities on their terms. The things that we're doing that are differently is we're using more social media, our website is much more active. You can purchase your gala tickets from our website, for example, you know. So we're adjusting to be where our market is going, right, and how we interact. There are just as many young men that are involved with the Knights as ever, and it's all about energizing them and giving them an avenue to be part of this great
an avenue and a reason to feel a part of.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? Yeah, I noticed the website. I was very impressed, and I would imagine you guys tweeting and the whole thing, or are you ramping up for that?
You know, it's about those personal relationships that Jen was talking about. It's you got to text your friends. A lot of, you know, these days people aren't planning their charitable, you know, events 6 months in advance like maybe they used to.
No.
But if I get a text from my friend that something's going on tomorrow, people show up and they're involved, and they're so willing to give. And we see such a great interaction with our younger. We work with the youth in our parish, for example. We have more youth involved in our parish in the high school than we've ever had since I've been here at this parish for 12 years.
That's
and
wonderful.
we work with them because we want them to be exposed to the Knights from, you know, a young age, and we have first-degree Knights that are, you know, 18, 19 years old.
Oh, that's wonderful, because a little bit ago, Tom Wilson told us that he was involved in college, left for a while and came back. Yeah, you have to bring them in young, don't you? And get them, and I guess if they're in the youth camps and all, they're very used to what you're doing.
Yes,
is that right?
Absolutely.
So, my gracious goodness, that's something. I've wondered about that. What is your next project for your organization?
Jim, you can talk about the gala. That is our huge fundraising activity for the year that allows us to contribute to all these great charities.
Is everybody welcome?
Yes.
Okay.
We ask anybody who wants to come can come. I mean, it doesn't matter. I have all of our neighbor friends, where I live, they've come and had a great time. So it's non-denominational at all. It's just a great opportunity to give to a charity. And so I've canvassed a lot, and we send out invitations to a wide breadth of people. So.
And your ticket prices are really, really.
It's probably, so the last year we did a night with Elvis, and we had a really great Elvis impersonator. This guy is who actually did a show for the president of Graceland Enterprises, a private party show.
That's wonderful.
And he's come back. He's really good.
But your tickets are
$35. You get a wonderful meal, tenderloin, turkey, sides.
And a lot of fun.
And a lot of fun. And
to find out about it, you go to the website, which is KFC7449.org. Got it.
And you can see buy tickets.
Yes, that's our local.
So they want to ask how we manage all this money.
Yeah, well, I wish I could, and I'll have to have you back to do that. So thank you. But I know that you keep a tight screw on it, and that is a top-down decision from headquarters.
Yes,
so thank you. Thank you both for being here, and thank you so much for the excellent work that you do.
Thank you for having us very much, Donna.
Thank you to the Knights of Columbus.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for being with us today for Inspiring Leaders. We appreciate our guests on today's show, Jim Clark, Tom Wilson, and Ed Cabrera, all with the Knights of Columbus. Please remember to support the Knights of Columbus in the excellent work they do within our community, and plan to attend their annual gala, as I am, this year on October 19th, where the tickets are reasonable and the fun is abundant. If you'd like further information on the Knights of Columbus, their website for the local chapter is KOFC7449.org. That's KOFC7449.org. And yes, you can find out all the information about this local council, as well as the details on their Knights of Columbus annual gala. Now, if you're interested in the air dates of Inspiring Leaders or for the station's complete programming information, then visit GHS-TV.org, where we're streaming live 24 hours a day. You can keep up with GHS-TV by visiting our website. We hope you'll like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. Thank you again for joining us, and be sure to watch our show, Inspiring Leaders, again next month.